New York Times reported, "We're letting Iran and ISIS carve up Iraq." But the question is, why didn't they bother to mention that the Bible predicted this would happen? And why has no other media outlet reported this astounding prediction made thousands of years ago coming true today? That is the question asked by former Muslim Brotherhood member turned peace activist Walid Shubat, who we paraphrase as follows: "I wonder at times if the major media will ever acknowledge that their headlines many times has already been etched in the Bible. I once spoke to New York Times writer Amir Tahiri, who during the Turkish elections predicted that Erdogan's opposition would win, to which I responded, 'In your wildest dreams.' Erdogan indeed won, but the reason I was correct had nothing to do with my study of the news. It had to do with my study of the Bible, from which it was easy to deduce that Islamists will control Turkey and that Iran will devour Iraq. Now, Tahiri, who is an Iranian hopeful, hopes to see Iran come out of Islamism, as he correctly deduced that Iran is carving up Iraq. The bad news, Tahiri says, is that Iran is the biggest winner in the Tikrit fight, and the Islamic State is gaining elsewhere. The two are dancing toward a de facto partition of Iraq between them. I would adjust Tahiri's remarks that Iran will gulp up the whole of Iraq, while Turkey will gulp up the whole of ISIS, to later carve up Syria, Egypt, Libya, Sudan, and Somalia into the fold of the Ottomans. How do I know this? Bible prophecy from Daniel chapter 11. Years ago, I gave this biblically prophetic analysis and stated that Iraq would be devoured by Iran. When Iraq faded from the collective consciousness and few were paying attention to it, I wrote, "Iraq will weaken as a result of America's exit to simply be devoured by Iran." I wrote this in a 2012 article for Jewish Voice Ministries. To Tahiri and to all the other talented secularist writers, I ask, why not simply believe in the Bible? After all, we live in a world where a weatherman's weekend predictions sometimes are laughably inaccurate. So why not rely on the perfectly accurate predictions of the Bible? Please consider the serious issue of Christian persecution in the Middle East, which will increase as we see more biblical prophecies come to pass and much of the bloodletting escalate. We operate a very effective mission in rescuing fellow Christians. It's called Rescuing Christians, a unique organization helping emancipate persecuted Christians from such places as in Pakistan, where Christians live under the Muslim yoke of baking bricks in kilns under the scorching hot sun and frequently burned alive in the furnaces. To read the full article on this subject, visit www.shubat.com. To learn more about how to help rescue persecuted Christians in the Middle East, visit www.rescuechristians.org.